Hi, first grade. Today we're going to start a 2-day project. So your lesson for this week will be in 2 parts. It is going to look like a picture of skywriting. So if you've ever seen an airplane go through the sky, lots of times they will have a white smoke trail behind them. And sometimes people who own smaller airplanes can make their airplanes do tricks and turns and flips, and they can actually write words in the sky or do pictures. So we're going to do the background today for our sky writing picture. So I'm going to be using a large piece of white paper. If you don't have a large piece, you could glue 2 smaller pieces together, or you can just do a small piece. And you're going to need some liquid glue and a cup and some water and a paintbrush and some tissue paper. Now, if you don't have any tissue paper at home, you could just color your squares with a marker or with a crayon. So here's my cup. I've already squirted some white glue in the bottom, and I've added a little bit of water. And now I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to mix it up. So we want this to be like really watery glue. So it takes a minute or 2 just to get it all stirred up and blended together. And I don't know if you've ever painted with glue before, but that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. Okay, so I'm going to get my white paper. Okay, and I'm going to be using the cool colors for my sky. So the cool colors are blue, green, and purple, which means that the warm colors are like the color in fire. So the warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. So I'm going to start by using my paintbrush and putting some glue water on my paper. I might do like halfway, and then I'm going to start laying my tissue paper onto the glue. And if they touch each other, that's okay, if they overlap. Now you don't have to do a pattern, you don't have to keep repeating the same pattern. So now I'm going to add more glue to kind of finish up this row. Okay, then I'm going to move down to my next one, and I'm using some bigger squares. My squares of tissue paper are probably like 2 inches by 2 inches, in case you have a grown-up helping you. And they're not perfectly square. It's actually hard to cut tissue paper into perfect squares. Okay, need some more glue. And we're just going to keep adding tissue paper. So it looks like I'm going to have about 4 rows, maybe 5. So like I said, if you don't have any tissue paper, you could just color squares, like bigger squares, onto your paper. Okay. All right. So, almost finished. So I don't really have enough for another row, so I could always trim that piece of white off of this paper. All right, so now I have all my tissue paper laid on the glue. Now I'm going to use the glue and go over top of the tissue paper just to make sure that it sticks. And your colors might run into each other a little bit. That's okay. You might get some blue on some green, or some blue on some purple, or some green on some purple. This is just to make sure that the paper sticks fast. That's why we're adding this extra glue water. So the reason I broke this into 2 lessons is because this part takes a while. And once we're done painting the glue on, we have to let it dry. All right, so I'm almost done. All right, so I'm going to let mine dry, and then I'm going to maybe trim off some of those white spots around the edge where I didn't have tissue paper glued on. And then I will start the next part of the lesson. So for the next part, you're going to need a smaller piece of white paper, some crayons or markers, and some cotton balls. Probably like maybe 10 cotton balls. All right, that will be the puffy smoke coming out of the airplane for our picture. All right, so I will see you soon for the next part of the lesson.